So we'll start with a little bit about us. With Rust Automation, been around for about 40 years, and from a valve company to controls, and then systems and solutions. So currently we're an Entershauser reps. We do a lot with instrumentation, and kind of the biggest thing that we work on is how to integrate that instrumentation into our customers' different applications. So kind of give you an idea. This is our territory that we cover. So we're Western United States into California. With Arizona and New Mexico, we just cover with some of our other lines. So as you can see, we're mainly an instrumentation and valve company, but I kind of run the systems integration department. So we try to focus on smaller systems. We get a lot of rural water, and maybe smaller facilities that kind of are at that 100 IO and less is kind of where we shine. So trying to find an affordable solution for these customers to automate their process. So the Pine Brook Water Project is kind of what I'll be talking about today. This was an interesting project that took a kind of an old rural water association, and we had to automate their system. So starting from scratch, it was all just manual valves and pump stations that they turned on individually to fill tanks and to get their raw water over to their treatment side. They had a couple of overflows in the last couple of years, and so their goal was to be able to monitor this, automate it, to be able to kind of track where the water is going to make sure they're not leaking, and to be able to set alarms so if they do overflow something that they can catch it a lot faster. So in this project, we used a lot of different technologies. Again, the Groove Epic and the Groove Rio was the mainstay doing the control and communications. But inside of that, we used the MQTT with Hive, the broker on that. We used a 900 megahertz radio system for everything that we could get line of sight with L Pro Technologies. And then from that, we used Modbus. Again, all talking to the Groove Epic using CODESYS on it. So here's kind of a hierarchy of what the system looked like. As you can see, nothing really was wired. Everything out there is solar panels, no communications wired, or wires were ran. So we had a challenge with a big area with lots of different systems that needed to talk together. So in this, we used the radios for pretty much everything that we can. So kind of point-to-point or mesh network radios that could all talk to each other. And then we've got a main gateway going into the Groove Epic. As you can see over on the right side here, where things got a little tricky is we had some sites that we couldn't hit with a 900 megahertz radio system. So we had to find a different technology to do this. When we first looked at this, we looked at using Groove Rio, and just like Garrett showed, putting that as almost like a card, virtual card on the CODESYS library. When we tried to do this, we found out that communications weren't stable enough to be able to maintain that communication the whole time. Pretty much we were coming out before a connection was ever made. So we kind of had to look at a new technology, and that's kind of where the MQTT kind of came out of this. The Groove Rio was really nice because it speaks MQTT natively, so you can just turn it on, right through the program and have, put in your broker information and have that talking pretty quick. So I see this is the MQTT side of the remote communications we did, and again, tricky because we are using a cell modem in one instance, and we were using somebody else's Wi-Fi in another instance. We were actually using a fire department's Wi-Fi that they were able to lend us, and then in the other instance, we're using another Wi-Fi adapter that something that they owned. So we had 3 different ways to communicate, and again, the fire department really didn't want us forwarding a port and opening up their system, so we needed to find some way to hit this securely. And that's kind of where the MQTT came in. So with this, we used HiveMQ as a broker, and we're able to push all of this up to the broker and then use CODESYS running on the Epic to grab those values and to run our program. These were critical values because there was 3 different values we're getting off the MQTT, 2 of those being flood monitoring systems. So we've got a radar level device pointing, at a small stream and doing kind of a rate of run alarm. So if that, rises in a certain amount of time more than the alarm, it will alarm the not only the water district, but it'll also alarm the residents there through the fire system. So very important communication that we needed to be able to get over and get securely. So this is kind of an overview of kind of why we chose Groove to begin with. Is the Groove view system makes it extremely easy to kind of plug and play, and they use the OPC UA, so we can kind of connect the CODESYS and the Groove view together pretty seamlessly and be able to just drag and drop a lot of this stuff on here. It makes development extremely fast and also easy for the customer. The other part, we're not into getting into the service kind of after the fact. We're there to kind of help, but we want to hand these systems off to the customer. And to do that, you really need a way that they can manage it themselves. Kind of what we did at the Pine Brook Water Association, kind of how we helped a number of different things out with their systems.